Hello, welcome back to my channel, Work Freedom Now. In today's video, I am going to give a testimony. I'm going to share with you how I got my first work from home job. And I want to be totally honest about everything as it relates to getting my first work from home job. So, about 11 years ago, I was a new teacher. I graduated and I was in my first year and a half of teaching. And I quickly realized when I was an educator that teaching was not for me, not because of the students, because the students were awesome. I really enjoyed interacting with the kids. I taught teenagers, that is. So they weren't kids, they were about as big as me. But at that time in my life, I really enjoyed interacting with them, but I knew that teaching was not for me in that sense. I'm a teacher by nature, but I knew I couldn't stay in the school system. And at that time, I was so busy. As a new educator, I was working full time. And if anybody knows anything about teachers, you have to do teacher conferences, you have after school duties. I was over, I believe I was over a club or organization. And I was also a person that really loved their family and friends. So it was really important for me to spend time with everybody. So I spent time with my mama, my stepdad, my siblings. I spent time with my friends to the point where I actually had, oh, excuse me. Sorry. This is a live video, okay? No editing. But I was so busy to the point where I used to make little schedules for seeing all of my friends and family and all of that type of stuff. So I was a very busy person. I was working full time. I was trying to spend time with all of my friends and family at the same time. And it was just a lot. It was a lot on me. And I was so tired. And I remember praying, God, like, I don't want to live a life constantly going to and from, constantly going here and there. It reminds me of this Bible verse. It says that in the last days, like men will be going to and fro. Or maybe it was a vision that one of the prophets saw that, that in the last days he saw people just going to and from all the time. Well, I was part of that vision. Okay. I was part of that number. So I remember praying, like, God, I don't want to live this type of life. So I remember I created a vision board of sorts. There was a lady I used to listen to, and she talked about creating a vision board. I had already always created like vision boards and stuff like that. But I remember that I was trying to create things like spiritual things, and I was trying to create business goals and all those type of things. So I just wrote down I wrote down that, God, I don't want to live a life constantly going here and there all the time. So I remember saying, God, I want a job where it doesn't take me an hour to get there and an hour to get home, because at the time it took me over an hour to get to work. It took me over an hour to get home. And I was so tired. I was so tired. And so I remember praying, God, like, I would love for you to slow down my life. Slow down my life. So after my first year of teaching, after my first year and a half of teaching, I decided to quit. I decided to quit my good paying teaching job. Okay. And this was very, very crazy for me to do, for me to quit my job. And there were some things in my life that allowed for me to do that. Okay. I would not suggest anybody just straight up quit their job. But I had decided, you know what? I signed up for school again. I said I was going to go back and get my master's degree. But I knew that I did not want to continue this. So I quit my job. And when I quit my job, everything, everything fell apart. Everything fell apart. I lost my car. I lost my apartment. I lost a lot of things when I quit that job. But I was stepping out on faith. And I will also say this: I didn't have any kids, I wasn't married. So I had the liberty to make a decision like that. Now, if I had children that depended on me, if I had a husband and that my decisions affected his decisions, I would have had to go to him and to God to find out if that was the right decision. But at that time, I did that, and I quit, and I was like, I'm just gonna find a flexible job. So instead of teaching full time, I decided to substitute teach, would offer me a lot of flexibility, but it still wasn't what I wanted. I still was like going here and there and constantly leaving all the time. So what I did was, I remember praying, God, I really, really want to work from home. So I stepped out on faith. So here's where it started. And so I remember listening to this girl on YouTube, and she said that she, we've all heard the story. If you're a Christian or grew up in a Christian faith, and if you're not, there's a big theme in the Bible that says faith without works is dead. In the Bible, it actually says that it is impossible to please God without faith. So I heard a lady talk about when she was doing something, she prepared for it. Like if you've ever heard the story, like let's say you want to move, so you don't have anywhere to move to, but you start buying boxes and you start buying new things for your place, even though you have no idea how you're going to move, how you're going to get there. So I actually started preparing to leave. I started preparing not to leave, to get a work from home job. So I went and brought a black foldable table from Walmart that was going to serve as my desk. I also went and bought a computer from a secondhand income-based, it was a secondhand income-based place or organization. They sold computers to people that did not make a lot of money. So they sold computers based on your income, and was really, really great because I knew by watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos that if I wanted to get a work from home job and the company did not send me the equipment, that my computer had to have the capacity to be able to handle a client. So I went to this one website, and I'll try to link it below, where they did income-based computers, or I'm sorry, you could get a computer that you could use to work from home or anything. And it was for really, really cheap. I think I paid $200 or less. I'm pretty sure it was less than $200 for a used computer, but it did the job. So I had the computer, I had this foldable Walmart black table, and now all I needed was the job. So I began applying at all these places to get a job from home. And what happened was there was a place that called me back that was willing to hire me. But guys, that's why I called it how I got my first work from home job, the whole truth, because I don't want to glamorize the first work from home job that I took. The first work from home job that I took only paid like $11 an hour. Now, mind you, I was a teacher. I was a teacher before that, a college educated teacher before that, right? And now this was back in 2013. So $11 was probably a lot more than it is today, but it's still nothing even back then. So I got an offer for a work from home job that was $11 an hour. And I wanted to work from home so bad that I was like, I am going to take this job. I'm sorry. Let me think. No, it might have been more than $11 an hour. I'm thinking about my second work from home job. So it was like 13 or something like that or whatever. So I took the job, and it was like a crazy shift. Like I worked from like 11 in the morning to like 9 at night. And I was on the phone all day. I hated it. I hated that first work from home job so much. I was so confused. I did not understand like what it is that y'all want me to do. Y'all want me to talk on the phone to customers. Y'all want me to type in a little chat. You want me to, look up information. It was just a lot, right? But I was happy, right? Because I didn't have to go anywhere to go to work or anything like that. I didn't have to drive anywhere to go to work. I could wake up from my house. I knew I wasn't going to be late to work because I was at home. So that was great. So I got my job. I hated it and I was very confused. Matter of fact, I actually got really sick because I was working a lot. At this job, you would work 7 days. Well, you got 2 off days during the week. And so, I'm sorry, you got 2 off days a week, right? But they would do like 1 off day on Monday. And then you will go 9 days and then you'll get 2 off days in a row. It was kind of crazy. So I was very confused because I'm like, God, I wanted to work from home. I thought it was going to be easier. And I actually found myself more stressed out, not having no time at all for the people that I loved and cared about. It was crazy. So I remember I had gotten sick. And when I got sick, I went to the hospital and there was a nurse there. I remember she had her little Jesus pin on and she was like, "Hun, you need to take off of work." And I was like, "No, I don't. I am the typical American that lives check to check." So I was like, "I can't take off of work." And she's like, honey, you need to take off of work. Your body cannot handle this. In essence, is what she said. And so I was like, okay. So she wrote me off of work for like a week or something like that. And I thought that was crazy. I'm like, oh my God, she wrote me off of work for a week. And when she wrote me off of work for a week, I was really like, it was like I got all this clarity about when she wrote me off for a week, it's like I got clarity because I was moving so fast that God had to stop me in my tracks for me to be able to see that this was not the work from home job for me. So when I got that week off, I felt so good. I felt so healthy that I quit. And mind you, I had a backup plan because remember, I was a substitute teacher. When I quit teaching, I was a substitute teacher. So substitute teaching, if anybody has any college hours, some places you don't even have to have a college degree. Substitute teaching is a really good, flexible job. If you're not good with high school kids or older kids, substitute teach for the babies is really flexible. So I quit responsibly, right? I had a backup job, which was substitute teaching. And I think that's like right when maybe that's when all of the door dashes and the favors and the Uber Eats, all that stuff started. So I had gotten a little bit into that. So I just didn't quit with no income, but I quit because that week that I was off, I felt so healthy. But then I was confused. I was like, I thought that working from home, you'll have all this freedom and flexibility. They show you people kick with their feet kicked up and all of that. So I was very confused. This was supposed to be a testimony of how I got my first work from home job. So, okay, so I skipped that. So how I got my first work from home job, let me wrap this up in a bow. How I got my first work from home job was that I prepared for what I was asking for. Ultimately, I got my table, which I used as a desk. I got my computer, and then I just started making that faith walk. Faith without works is dead. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So I just start putting the pedal to the metal and I start applying for all these work from home jobs. I watched every video I could find from YouTube about working from home. I actually even took a course from a random person on YouTube about work from home jobs. It was a girl. She had a lot of experience working from home. So I took her course. I don't know how much I paid for it, but it wasn't much. But I paid for it because I was so serious about working from home. So I knew that I needed to get the education I needed, and I also needed to prepare to get the information I needed to get a work from home job. So that's what I did, and I got that first work from home job, and it was a real blessing at the time because I think my car actually broke down too. So even though, like I was starting to tell you, I hated the work from home job, and even though I eventually quit that work from home job, it was a blessing to me at that time because my car broke down. I didn't have any way to fix it at the time. And so me getting that job was very much a blessing from God. So I don't want to like, give you negativity to discourage you from working from home because if you don't have transportation, if you can't get to where you need to get to, and you need money coming in, oh, it was a blessing. And I worked there for maybe almost 6 months because they gave people a bonus like after 6 months. So I quit before the 6 months job, but it was a real blessing. So one of the first things I want to say in this video is that prepare for what you're asking for. Prepare for what you're asking for. If you are saying that you want a work from home job, then find every video that you can about working from home. Get the education that you need. Research what you want to get into before you get there. I think one of the easiest work from home jobs that you can actually do is call center work from home job. You don't have to have a college degree to work at most call centers, period. And the same is true if you're working a customer service type job working from home. They can actually even pay really well the longer you do it. So it's the easiest low barrier to entry work from home job. So prepare for what you're asking for. But the reason why I wanted to call this video is the testimony is the whole truth is because I don't want to make it seem like when I got the work from home job, it was just like cake. Like it was very, very hard. It was stressful. And I ultimately end up quitting, right? Now, obviously, I have a channel called Work Freedom Now. I still work from home today. I don't work for that company anymore, but I still work from home. I'm actually pursuing a data analyst position in the near future, but I work from home. I don't talk to customers, hallelujah, anymore. But God bless those that do. A lot of people find success in working from home. But I just wanted to let y'all know when I got my first work from home job, it was paying practically nothing for where I lived at. Wages are relative to where you live, but it was paying practically nothing. I was coming from a professional, degreed, well-respected career like education, and I humbled myself and took the first work from home job that I thought was a good, viable job. It was a good company. It was well researched. I made sure it wasn't a scam. And this was a long time ago, so there's probably a lot more work from home job scams today than they were back then, but they still had them back then too. But I just want you to prepare for the vision. Today, I don't work at a job that is stressing me out. We've had moments. I've had moments at my job, right? Like any job. But this is 11 years later. This is 11 years, and I'm still pursuing more because to get to work freedom now, it is a journey. It is a journey. The first job that I took, I couldn't pick the hours that I wanted to work. I worked pretty much all day. I felt like I worked more than I did when I was teaching. And that is crazy because I worked a lot as a teacher. And so I want you to know the whole truth. Sometimes when you're getting your first work from home job, sometimes you might got to humble yourself. Sometimes you might have to take something that you don't want to take to get to where you want to get to. The Bible says, with faith and patience, we inherit the promise. With faith and patience, we inherit the promise. So you got to have a lot of faith. You have to have a lot of patience. 11 years later, I'm not on the phone anymore. 11 years later, I'm not stressed out a lot at work, although I do have some stressful days. 11 years later, I'm not talking on the phone to people like I was when I got my first work from home job. I have a non phone work from home job. That's 11 years later. That's a long time. Now, hopefully, you can learn and you can avoid some of the missteps that I made, right? If you want to work from home and you really want that flexible job, you really want that job where you can have time freedom, location freedom, the ability to work from home or anywhere. That was my prayer when I started this channel. And the reason why I started this channel is because I wanted people to be able to spend more time with their family, more time with their friends, more time with their children, more time doing God's purpose. And in order to do that, you've got to have a level of work freedom. You've got to have a level of work freedom to be able to do any of those things. And I'm still on that journey. I know a lot more today than I knew back then, right? I've had flexible jobs where I could choose my own hours. I've had jobs where I can choose my own shifts. I've had contract jobs. I have a regular W-2 job now with benefits and everything like that. I've struggled. I pray that you won't have to struggle like I did. I pray that you won't have to go through the same pitfalls that I went through to continue on my journey to work freedom now. And I think one of the things I want to do on this channel, and if you are still here at 22 minutes and 14 seconds or whatever it says on the YouTube screen, if you are still here, shout out to you, because you really, really want to work from home. I think one of the first things I want to do on this channel, not one of the first, I've done it. I've had this channel for a long time. So whatever God does on this channel is totally God led. I'm not chasing algorithms or anything like that. But I think one of the first things I want to do now on this channel is I would like to teach people how to get the type of work from home job that they want. Because if you want work freedom now, it's not going to be a customer service job. Yeah, it's not going to be a customer service job. You will have a regular schedule that you will have to choose from. You will have to pick. You won't have the freedom to pick the hours that you want to work. So if you want a work from home job and you want freedom and flexibility, I want to kind of tell you what kind of jobs you need to get so that you can truly have work freedom now. Because it's just working from home is not, remote work is not the key to work freedom. People think it is. They lie and act like it is. But the truth is, you got to get the education, the training, and experience to be able to demand a job where you can work from Starbucks or work from home and choose your own hours. You have to get the education. That's what I said. The education required to be able to get the type of job you want. You have to get the experience required. So when I took my first work from home job, how I got my first work from home job is I faked it out and I humbled myself to get that first work from home job. And it was tough. And it was tough, and I didn't last long at the first work from home job. I've never really even had a job for less than 2 years in my entire life. But baby, that first work from home job was less than 6 months because your girl, it was not working for me. So I just want to encourage you on your journey. I just want to give you the whole truth about the fact that I had to humble myself and take something that I wouldn't have normally taken, just so that I can get in the field that I wanted to be in. I wanted to get on the path. that I felt like at that time God was leading me to. Today, I do not have that rush life where I'm trying to go to and from. And I can give a whole nother testimony about, trying to wear myself thin, trying to spend time with everybody. That's like a whole nother testimony. But I pray that this encouraged you. I pray that you understand that it takes faith to get what you desire. It takes faith to get your first work from home job. Start preparing for what you believe God is going to give you. Start preparing for the job that you're asking for. All right, till next time. Love you. I'm praying for you. If you would like me to pray for you, just leave a comment down below or email me. Until next time, keep God first. He loves you more than I do, but I love you too.